So the latest SI that came out, they had added that the Director of Health Services, which is Dr. Manzanero, has to give all the names of all COVID patients and all the names of everyone who is supposed to isolate or quarantine, their names and their addresses to the Minister of National Security. Now, that minister is Michael Parafit. He also is the Attorney General, so he is the one who has the ministry that is in charge of drafting the laws, and also he is the Minister of National Security, which means in essence that he is the head of the police. Now, I think it was yesterday, the media asked Parafit, well, how come that you put that in the SI that the Director of Health Services is now forced to give you the names and the addresses? They didn't ask it exactly like that, but that was the point that came out. And it was specifically added in the SI that if he fails to give the names and the addresses, that he commits an offense. The first thing when I saw that, before I even heard it, I read it myself and I thought, wow, what in the world? There must be some friction going on here or something. I thought the Minister of National Security would just go and ask Dr. Manzanero, here, can you give me the names and the addresses? And why put it into the law and make the director commit an offense if he fails to keep it? That's weird, I thought. But I was starting to wonder if there's some friction or what, and it seems like there may be. I don't know the detail of what is going on. Yesterday there were rumors that Dr. Manzanero had resigned, and then later the government press office said, no, it's false, he did not resign, and the Reporter news organization reconfirmed that they stand by their original report that he did resign, but perhaps they're now convincing him to stay. So anyhow, whatever happened, I'm not sure. The deal is just, we have the Attorney General, the Minister of National Security, he's the same person, Michael Parafit, and he says, well, it's not me who is adding this stuff that the director has to give this information. It is the National Oversight Committee is saying that's what needs to happen for the good and for the security of everyone. The problem is, however, the National Oversight Committee made a press release, and they said that they are now recommending to the cabinet that they change the law, which they just made, the SI, that the director has to report the names and the addresses. So which way is it? Is the Minister of National Security and the Attorney General Parafit, is he correct that it's the National Oversight Committee who puts it in? Or is the National Oversight Committee correct that they say that no, it's the cabinet that puts it in? And the other thing is, they're doing this under the quarantine laws, which the Constitution says the minister responsible for health has the authority to make quarantine laws as he thinks is needed. So the deal is, what are we doing? The Minister of Health has the authority to make this entire thing that they have made constitutionally, which should not be the case, but we have to discuss that another day. But he has the authority to do that without input from the cabinet, without input from any National Oversight Committee. He has the authority to do that. So who is doing it? The cabinet? The National Oversight Committee? Or the Minister of Health, which is Dr. Pablo Marin, who is responsible for the Quarantine SI that they have made? I think that's a question that we should ask and we should demand answers for. Not only that, but I find it ironic that we have heard maybe of a couple who are in the National Oversight Committee, but it seems like it's a very secretive thing. Who is running this country? Who is in the National Oversight Committee and tells you if your business can be open or cannot be open? it seems like they don't even want to tell us who is in charge of running our lives and telling us if we can work or if our business can be open or not. And yet, and I'm sure there's some people who know, and I know a few people who are public that they're in there, the Prime Minister and for a while the leader of the opposition, but they don't even want to say who's in the National Oversight Committee to run our lives, and yet now they want to know all the names of everyone who is COVID positive or who is supposed to quarantine. Isn't that ironic? Anyhow, I think, as the Bible says, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. And I think that is a big problem in this country. There is so much corruption, so much sin, that people are not even seeing past the corruption and the blindness and everything that is there. It is just so tyrannical, everything that they're doing with forcing us to stay home. And I saw in this SI that they made, you're even committing an offense if you have any flu symptoms and you don't report it to the health authorities. Are you serious? If you have flu symptoms and you don't report it to the health authority, you're already committing an offense. A few weeks ago, they had a person in Belize City who they wanted to charge for this offense, for having flu symptoms and not reporting it to the Director of Health Services. My friends, I think that is insane. And only those people who love the power will be pushing for it, and everyone whom they can convince that they are doing it for everyone's good. But that is a line that has been used all the way from Hitler and all the other rest of the craziest dictators in history. They always do it for the good of the people. Once you hear that, it's for the good of the people, or it's for everyone's benefit, you gotta ask yourself twice, why are they doing what they are doing? Because generally, that is not a good sign when they use that phrase. They're trying to brainwash us. Wake up.